What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a pretty awesome new weapon in Season of Defiance and Lightfall. And this is the first special ammo fusion rifle which can roll with Incandescent. Make no mistake, this is a pretty awesome weapon not only because of Incandescent, but another new perk which can allow the weapon's magazine to overflow to 15 or more rounds, which is absolutely epic. So we'll talk about it right here guys. This weapon is also a pretty welcome addition to many builds in the game right now, and that includes Strand, as it works really nicely with stuff like Suspend, despite the elements being different. And so we'll take a look at the weapon, as well as some great ways to integrate it into some really solid builds at the moment. As always, I hope you enjoy the video today, but now let's get into it. And so the main thing we're looking at today is the Royal Executioner Solar Fusion Rifle from Season of Defiance. This is a new craftable weapon, and we can earn it through the seasonal battleground activity and vendor rewards in the Helm. It's an adaptive frame fusion rifle, and so a pretty solid archetype, and we can see it's capable of rolling loads of nice perks, including stuff like Pugilist, Successful Warm-Up, and of course Reservoir Burst. So there are loads of really good options on the weapon, but unique to this fusion rifle is its ability to roll Incandescent as a trait. And like I said, as far as I know, this is the only fusion rifle that can get that perk. And of course, Incandescent spreads Scorch to nearby targets when we defeat an enemy, with more powerful combatants and opposing guardians causing Scorch in a larger radius. It's been a really popular perk since it dropped, and it doesn't disappoint on a fusion rifle because the weapon type alone is really capable against tankier targets, but now we have the extra element of spreading Scorch and tick damage. But it gets better than that, and there's another really great perk that the weapon can roll called Envious Assassin. So it's another new one for Season 20, and rapidly defeating targets with other weapons before drawing this one transfers ammo to the magazine from reserves. And this effect can overflow the magazine based on the number of targets defeated. And so when we make a bunch of rapid kills with our other weapons, switching to the fusion rifle essentially overflows the magazine from reserves. And paired with this, on the most part, I've been using the new SMG from Neomuna, which is Synchronic Roulette. The role I've got has Hatchling, and so precision kills spawn threadlings, and that helps us make faster multi-kills. And you can see when I take down a lot of enemies with the SMG and then immediately switch to the fusion, it's loaded the ammo into the magazine. And without running fusion ammo reserves, you can see I'm getting up to 15 rounds readily available in the magazine of the fusion rifle, which is absolutely bonkers. And assuming that you're making kills quickly with your other weapons, Envious Assassin is kind of doing the work of perks like Ambitious Assassin, but also autoloading holster simultaneously. And in some instances, I've used all of the ammo in the fusion rifle, and my other weapon kills alone, of course, are initially dropping special ammo, and after picking it up, continuing to make kills with the primary or heavy is loading all of that ammo up into the magazine. So I think it's a really good perk in general, and of course you'll find it on a bunch of weapons this season. But Envious Assassin and Incandescent in particular is a pretty brilliant combination. And of course, since we can craft this weapon, it won't be too difficult to get this roll. And also imagine getting enhanced versions of these two perks. It's going to be really, really strong. Of course, Incandescent is going to fit into solar builds in particular, especially where we've got Ember of Ashes. But that's not to say it can't be a really solid part of a Strand build. So a Strand build I've been using on Titan, where we're pretty much getting infinite shackle grenades, enemy suspend, and a lot of survivability via woven mail. It isn't necessarily the first weapon and build combo that you might think of, but it's actually pretty nasty. And of course, keeping grapple on is totally an option. It's certainly a difficult one to take off, but using the grenades to get suspend. I'm running Armamentarium right here. Of course, we get 2 grenade charges with that exotic. That's one of the things I really like about Strand. It works with a lot of existing exotics in the game really well. And if you look at stuff like the Strand Fragment Thread of Generation, dealing damage generates grenade energy, and that includes all damage sources, so even tick damage from Scorch and Incandescent will help generate grenades. And so we can continuously suspend a bunch of enemies, take them out with a couple of shots from the fusion rifle, and then both kills and tick damage are feeding grenade energy back, so that we can continue to suspend targets and easily get more kills. Additionally, I'm rocking Thread of Continuity, and Suspend, Unravel, and Sever effects have increased duration. That gives us plenty of time to actually get those kills when we string targets up. But of course, those kills are also generating orbs of power with the fusion rifle masterworked right here. And so I think rocking fragments like Thread of Warding, where picking up an orb of power grants woven mail, is absolutely worth thinking about. We're getting loads of damage reduction from woven mail, and survivability is increased pretty significantly when you have that up. But separate to the Incandescent fusion, I've been running Winterbite quite a lot because obviously it's great for damage on bosses and tanky targets, but it's really strong for ad control in general as well. And again, as it fires at targets, it's feeding that grenade energy back to us via Thread of Generation. And the other weapon, which I haven't really elaborated on a lot, is my SMG Synchronic Roulette. Again, I have that with Hatchling and Precision Final Blows, as well as Rapid Defeats will spawn Threadlings which track other nearby targets. And this, as well as assisting Thread of Generation for grenade energy, is obviously helping us to get rapid kills, and subsequently proccing Envious Assassin for the fusion rifle to overflow the magazine. On top of that, I'm running Thread of Propagation, where powered melee final blows grant strand weapons unraveling rounds, and that's a pretty major boost, allowing the weapons to get more kills quicker. And so I thought it was worth talking about how even incandescent weapons can feed into some of the strand builds. And you can run something like this on any class really, but also while using the grapple grenade. Obviously less focused on suspend in that scenario, but with the same fragment setup and weapons, you're getting pretty much infinite grapple energy instead, right? A few mods I'm running as well, but since I'm using the exotic Stasis Glaive, I've got Stasis Siphon, and also Harmonic Siphon, and so Stasis and Strand rapid kills create orbs of power, and that's helping us get Woven Mail more regularly. On the gauntlets, I've got Momentum Transfer, where causing damage with a grenade reduces your melee cooldown. All of the Strand melees are really strong, so stuff like that isn't bad. But on top of this, I've got Grenade Kickstart, and when grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. I'm running a couple of those on my gauntlets, but also Solar Weapon Surge on the boots right here, where solar weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have armor charge. Obviously that's helping our Incandescent fusion rifle out quite a bit. I also opted to run Stasis Weapon Surge, since I'm using the glaive, and then I've got charged up on my chest piece to increase the number of armor charge stacks that I can carry. And then Time Dilation on my class item, where Decaying Armor Charge has a longer duration. And even stuff like Utility Kickstart, and when your class ability energy is fully expended, you gain class ability energy. But of course, mods like Bomber are certainly worth thinking about in terms of reducing grenade cooldowns. And with that kind of stuff in mind, you can get into some pretty fun loops of endless grenade energy, or of course grapple energy. And with Thread of Generation, anything that does tick damage or helps you consistently output damage is going to keep those grenades coming back really quick, which is an added bonus with the fusion rifle, especially when it has incandescent and 15 rounds in its magazine. So there we go, guys. We kind of went all over the place looking at a few things there, but there are so many possibilities with some of the new weapons and of course Strand, so it's really fun to kind of play around with it. And let us know down below what builds and weapons you've been enjoying. But for today, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Also be sure to get subscribed if you want to see more Destiny 2 and Lightfall content. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.